everybody. Welcome to the weekly Baseball Brew Crew Podcast. We're keeping baseball history alive, one craft beer at a time. Wherever you are watching or listening, please give us a like and a follow. And if you love beer with your baseball, please tell a friend. Let's do it. We have a great show for you tonight. And let's go to the lineup card. Hitting first is the field correspondent and senior research analyst at the Baseball Brew Crew. It is Kevin Lyon. Thank you for being here tonight.
I'm ready. I'm going to lay down a bunt, a nice soft bunt. So that way I know I get to first base, and I know the man coming up second will be driving me to home.
I like that. I like that. That's a team player right there.
And you know what? You were a team player too, Michael Mondragon, because you didn't put a big emphasis on the word senior in my title. So thank you.
I did not. That is the nuances. You actually gave me the signals, and I actually yes, exactly. Yes, thank you so much. Up next is the Goodwill Ambassador and the Sultan of Swig at the Baseball Brew Crew. It is Cowboy Jack Durango.
Forever drunk, I want to be forever drunk. Woo! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest show on earth, featuring yours truly, the Golden God, Jackie Ballgame, the Outlaw Burger, the Rooster. I am your professor of hazy history with a doctorate in brewnomics, and if I do say so myself, ooh-wee, a damn handsome man. Welcome to the show.
Let him hear it. Yes.
Now I have like 5 more nicknames to jot down. Thanks, Jack. I don't have enough to do here.
Keep a spreadsheet, pal. Keep a spreadsheet.
I have a note.
And as always, we always drink responsibly at the crew. Please, tip your bartenders and your waitresses, but drive safe home. That's what we say here.
Don't forget to try the veal. And
yes. The veal is delicious. It's delicious. So is the veal parm.
Drink at home and watch the Baseball Brew Crew. Who needs to go out?
That's it. My name is Michael Mondragon, your humble host for the festivities tonight. As tradition, we always bring a new and unique craft beer to review and enjoy. So what are you drinking out there tonight? Kevin Lyon, I'm going to start with you.
All right. So there's a brewery that we talked about last week called Brewery X in beautiful Anaheim, California, my hometown. And it reminded me for quite a while, I have not had a chance, and neither of you, Michael, to talk about the first brewery that really made an impact in that northeast Anaheim area. That would be Bottle Logic Brewing. So let me tell you a little about them first. Their tasting room is open since February 2014, and they've had all kinds of accolades, done so well, and to the point to where they literally took over the space next door to their tasting room and used that more or less as a facility mostly just to age barrels, because they're definitely known for a wide variety of beers. They make all kinds of special bottle releases all the time, a lot of aged stouts, if you're into that kind of things. And before I talk about mine, I want to talk about just the variety of stuff they do have. They have a nice Japanese lager that I had in the past called Hanamachi. And now, have you had that before, Michael? Their Japanese rice lager? Check this out. When I went and got the beer here, I'm going to talk about in a minute. They actually have 2 new variations of that Hanamachi. They have a Hanamachi Black, so like a black lager, and a Hanamachi Yuzu.
Oh,
so it's like the rice lager with some yuzu flavor and on yuzu, like, yuzu is like a Japanese citrus, that sounds like a really pleasant one.
Yes.
I was going through their list. I'm going to talk about a couple of their beers they have here. One thing they do is they actually have a smoothie sour. Yeah, you're right. A smoothie sour ale, and it's called Krakatoa, I think it is. And I think that's actually a drink you can get at Trader Sam's at Disneyland Hotel. And so this is actually a tantalizing twist on something they made before. They actually have a Dole Whip. If you're Disney fans, you know what the Dole Whip is. At the Enchanted Tiki Room, you can get one of those inside Disneyland. So they made their own Dole Whip inspired smoothie sour. And that one has like rich pineapple, marshmallow, and Madagascar vanilla. So and it has like some fresh strawberry in there too. It's like, whew. Like that one, I was like, wow, that sounds interesting. Let me tell you about one of their imperial stouts as well that you can get. Sometimes in bottles, sometimes you find on draft. This new one I want to talk to you about, Michael Mondragon, I'm sure you'll appreciate the reference. It's called Comb the Desert. So you know what that's probably referring to, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So,
Spaceballs the beer.
yes, Baseball's the beer. So it is a bourbon barrel aged peanut butter and jelly inspired imperial stout. So I like what they wrote here. This is why I had to read this. From the one brewery that would dare give you the raspberry, comes the second bottle release of Comb the Desert. It's a small batch riff on their initial one of this kind of flavor called Jam the Radar. So there you go. Another baseball riff.
Yeah.
That's why this one's Comb the Desert. And so this one apparently elevates the rich cacao and juicy raspberries with a final treatment of roasted beans for a creamy peanut butter and jelly inspired spoof on that Jam the Radar. It's like, oh my goodness, that sounds great. Now I've done all that. Now I got to talk about what I have here. So this is called Tea-cursion, T-E-A, because this is actually, it's funny, I gave you all descriptions. The description for this, short and simple. This is called Tea-cursion, a West Coast style IPA conditioned on tropical black tea leaves. So it gives like a really nice tropical smell, like a nice fruity tropical smell, which I wasn't sure because I saw black tea and I'm like, this could be interesting. This is a really nice IPA. And I didn't know what to think because if you look, it's a 6.5%, but the IBU is 85, which would make you think, oh, that's going to be a pretty bitter beer. But I guess, I'm numb to everything, so I'm not going to really taste the bitterness. Except for when Cowboy Jack is lying to me.
Will you stop?
On that sip, yeah. This does have a nice smell, aroma from the tea, and it does have a good bitter kick. So if you're not used to like 85 IBUs, maybe get a little taster of it first if you go to Bottle Logic. And if you go over there, tell them that, the Baseball Brew Crew sent you over there. Sorry, I'm not going to steal Cowboy Jack's line.
Yeah, and Bottle Logic always has like really, really amazing art. I remember, what was it, like 2018 or 19? We went to, they had a big kind of like a weekend festival where you had that little booklet where you could stand, and they had all these different things that you could try that were first run, and you get prizes if you fill up your book, and their events are so super amazing. What was that event that we went to?
It was like I can't remember the name of it, but it was their annual event where for 7 days they have a different food truck every night, different specific beers released specifically like certain days to get you to come out for 7 days, and you get your booklet every day you go, you get a stamp. And I remember when I did the 7 days, I got this huge, like 64-ounce growler. And back when growlers were like the thing before growlers really took over that. And I ended up giving it to Michael. So I don't know how much he ever used it, but I did give him that. And I got some little goodies. So I was like, oh, this is so much fun. I'm like, I spent a lot of money on beer those 7 days going over there, though.
Yeah.
Just trying one or two things every day, and that adds up for sure.
I forget about growlers and how that used to be like when we first kind of got into this, that was like a big thing to get a jug of beer. And but now with cans, it's much easier because we can share it, and it's much easier, and they keep longer as well. Yeah. But Bottle Logic has been a favorite of ours for a long time, and I totally forgot it was 7 days. I thought it was just the weekend. It was actually 7 days.
I don't remember the time you went with me. I did all 7, but there was 1 year I actually did all 7, and another year I did like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Well, and the other good thing, Crowler, the cans versus a growler, is it's a lot easier to hold a can when you're operating farming equipment. So, I mean, that's a win in my book.
We are not endorsing that. But
no, not that we endorse that at all. I'm just saying it's easier. We do not endorse that whatsoever here at the Baseball Brew Crew.
In fairness, it is easier.
But,
in fairness,
okay,
it is easier.
Okay.
Some great stuff there. And where did you got this at Bottle Logic or
no? I went to Total Wine the other day just to look for something to get, and they have if you go to Total Wine, I don't know if they're gonna be in Arizona, but in California they have like a whole like section which is all kinds of different stuff of theirs. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me have the Tea-cursion. I haven't had this I looked at it on tap, and I haven't had this in like 5 or 6 years. So this has been one that's been around for a long time, and with good reason too. It's a heck of a beer.
Totally. Great one. Thank you so much for that. Cowboy Jack, you are up next.
Typically, old Charlie Guzzle spotlights an entire brewery during this segment, but I recently had a beer that I just had to put front and center in the spotlight for the enjoyment of the Brewniverse. This weekend, I got to meet up with close personal friend of the show, pride of San Diego, and comic book creator extraordinaire, Mr. Scott Lost. We got together at a hip little joint in downtown Phoenix, and I was so excited to see my friend. I didn't take a step back to look at the 47-foot wide chalkboard with 800 different beers on it and pick one out. I just told our server, bring me something hazy. And what she brought me was one of the smoothest triple IPAs I have had in a long while. I'm talking about the Sacred Datura Triple Hazy IPA, which is a collaboration between two breweries in Arizona that I have been very, very interested in checking out. Kitsune Brewing out of Phoenix and Dark Sky Brewing out of Flagstaff, Arizona. Kitsune is a newcomer. They just opened last year. And after, yes, sir.
I'm sorry to step in. I want to make sure you're saying it right. It's Kitsune. It's Japanese, so it'd be Kitsune. I think it'd be Kitsune. Just helping you out there.
Kitsune is a newcomer to the craft beer scene, opening just last year, and Dark Sky Brewing Company is, after hashtag doing the research, I found out from my beer guy that they are, when it comes to quality of beer, the neck and neck top two brewer in Arizona, tied with Wrenhouse Brewing. Wow. So I am excited to make it up the hill to Flagstaff to check them out. This triple hazy juicy boy is dry hopped with Idaho 7, Strata, Eldorado, and Cashmere hops. The aroma is a straight citrus grove on a tropical island with some subtler hints of melon layered throughout. The flavor delivers big time with passion fruit, ruby red grapefruit, and sweet tarts. Take all that goodness and wrap it into a dank, juicy body, and buddy, you got an amazing beer ski. Yeah. So, if you are within the sound of my voice, do yourself a favor. Seek out Sacred Datura by Dark Sky Brewing and Kitsune.
Thank you.
And let Sweet Lady Hayes take you away to IPA paradise. And as always, my friends, don't forget to let her know that Cowboy Jack Durango, the Valley of the Sun's favorite son, sent you.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, and Dark Sky is one that I only know about because I have some friends that are home brewers out of Prescott. They were on top of this one. They had already liked it, so I know that it's one that's on their radar, and they're always on top of some really good breweries up there. And but you had this in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, it was a place called the Angel's Trumpet Ale House, and okay. I mean, they had a huge selection of beer. You know, I'm going to go for the hazy, so I just said, bring me the hazy. And guys, I will be ordering I will make a trip. It's a 2-hour drive to Flagstaff just to visit Dark Sky after tasting this beer. It's one of the better, and it's a triple. It's a triple, and by the end of the night, when I looked at my bill and I had drank 34 of them, I was like, well, look at that. That is a smooth triple. Luckily, I was taking an Uber because we're responsible here.
You weren't driving farm equipment?
When I got back to the ranch, I might have taken the combine out for a few laps around the cornfields, but I digress. No, man, it was all joking aside, it was a treat. I didn't know what to expect, because I did the old roulette, and I was so surprised and so happy with that beer. I'm gonna put it into the normal rotation. It's so darn good.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
It looks like orange juice. It's like it's a triple, no less. And
do you have the stats on that one? Do you know what the percentages on that?
It is going to be.
Curious.
So it wasn't that Stivsky 9.3%.
9.3.
Yeah,
like for us. Yeah, breakfast.
It was a breakfast beer ski, and it's only so it's a triple with a 9.3, but they only have a 30 IBU.
Oh, interesting. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why.
so it was it went down so darn smooth, man. It was like drinking fruit juice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That made for an interesting. I think I got kidnapped by the Uber driver on the way home. No, on the way there, I got kidnapped. The way home, it was a whole nother thing. I don't have good luck with Ubers, dude. Not good luck at all.
So, is that your first experience with Kitsune as well? Because I know I know you've mentioned you want to check them out. Is that the first thing you had that they were
That was the
with?
my first experience with Kitsune and my first experience with Dark Sky, and now those two guys they're going up to the top of the list. I'm gonna have to make Kitsune is here in town, so I'm gonna have to make it over there and do a full review with those guys because after having this one, man, bring it on. I'm thirsty.
There's some great. I mean, I think we were talking about this before. Like, there's some great breweries in Williams and Flagstaff. So, like, there's plenty to see and go up there. Some great discoveries. I'm sure you're seeing triple after having those 34.
Sure. Okay. All right. I might have fibbed a little bit. It wasn't 34. It was 62 because,
Yeah. So
I don't tell the wife ski, K Fizzle boys.
Yes. Well, we did the math when you said that 30.
No, babe, we know what 30, but know what that means.
No, only 34, babe. I promise. Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you for that one. That's a great one. I can't wait to try that one myself. So mine was gifted to me this weekend. Went to Monster Palooza in Pasadena, California, and I had a friend who came up, and her name is Monique Hawk, and she's a very accomplished artist and even a more accomplished beer drinker. And she goes, "Hey, I'm gonna bring some beer for you," and I go, "I'm not stopping you." And so she brought this. This is the Hazy Dreams IPA, a hazy IPA from Abnormal Beer Company out of San Diego, California. They began pouring beer in 2015, and they're dedicated to creating beers that are approachable, full-flavored, gluten-reduced, and easily paired with food. This one is 6.9 ABV, 30 IBU. It has Nugget, Cascade, Mosaic, Simcoe, and Citra hops. It's aggressively hop-forward, nose-lending waves of citrus, resin, and tropical fruits. Medium-bodied from oats and unmalted wheat with a hop-heavy finish of fresh, squeezed orange juice and hints of grapefruit. As you can see, almost like yours, Jack. It's super murky. Super good. And I'm gonna have I only had one of these, so I'm like, I have to save my other one for the show because and again, like, don't let the packaging fool you. It is minimal packaging, but if I'm not mistaken, we had another beer from Abnormal on here before, and I was going to do the research and I forgot.
It might be Angela, because I just looked and I'm like, I know I've had this, but I didn't have it on the show.
Oh,
I bought a can of this. If I bought a single can of it, it's probably something I would have got Trader Joe's. So I wouldn't be surprised if Angela or myself, not this beer specifically, unless if Angela had it.
I think that he had the lighter beer, because we were talking about the packaging, how it was like kind of minimal, but it was simple, really good. Yes, you're exactly right on that.
But yeah, exactly. Don't let this fool you. They make some really good stuff. Because I just looked and going, I know I had this. I had it about almost a year to the date. I had it last June, and I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and we've fallen in love with the hazies, it seems. And again, we're super big IPA fans. But then now transitioning into the hazy, then now Jack's going triple hazy. So it's like, I didn't even know that was even possible. So it sounds great. And all these beers are so good. This is another one that I can't wait to look up. And when I'm down, I'll be in San Diego, not this weekend, but next weekend. Oh. I believe the Tampa Bay Rays are going to be in town. So there you go.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and I was going to try, and I think the are there right before that. Excuse me, the Guardians. Excuse me, I went legacy. I'm so sorry.
Whoa! Like whoa!
Yes, I mean we had Bob
you went
Feller.
Steinbrenner on us, dude.
Bob Feller wasn't on the Guardians.
No,
but yeah, so they're in. But the Rays are there that weekend, so I'm going to try to catch Friday and Sunday. And speaking of which, Abnormal is actually has a beer for the City Connect. This is the major tour by Abnormal Beer Company. So I'm definitely going to try and see if I can if there's a place close. Again, San Diego is saturated with breweries, and you don't have to walk too far before you're in a brewery in San Diego. So
especially by the ballpark.
Oh yeah, by there.
And who knows? Let's hope this is on draft in the ballpark. Let's hope it is.
And that's another thing about Petco Park is that there is so, like, for instance, if you go anywhere else, the craft beer is limited, but at Petco Park, you actually have to strategize how you're going to. There's so many offered there. It is a bevy of choices, and not only in the park but outside the park. Mm-hmm. And so you really have to pace yourself when it comes to this, and you can get swept away sometimes. I remember I had some when I went to a Cardinals Padres series. And there was some people there that it was their first time at Petco. And they're like, oh, well, like, what's a good craft beer? And I go, well, I can give you the best one in the whole park. And it was the one, Kevin, that you might remember. It was the Mike Hess. I think it was like a grapefruit IPA.
Yeah, I knew exactly where you were going on that. I was like, I was about to say Mike Hess, and you said it first. Yes. Yeah,
and I said, I think it might even been the blood orange one that was even better than the grapefruit one. And yeah,
I know if you're there, if you're walking around the outfield area behind around the center left field area, there's a bar there that has 3 or 4 Mike Hess beers, I think, including the grapefruit, and they have like 12 beers, and it's like 4 different breweries amongst those 12 beers. It's so cool.
It's great. And I said I will buy you this beer, and if you don't like it, I will give you double your money back. And they said no. This is I think they were from Toronto. They were on a baseball tour, and I said this is the best beer in the ballpark, and they agreed. It says I saved my money and I made a friend. So yes, Abnormal. I'm definitely going to check them out when I'm in San Diego. All right, so let's do it. This is This Week in Baseball History for June 13th through 19th. Let's get to it. I'm going to start with June 13th. June 13th, 1930. For the first time in baseball history, former batting champions are exchanged for one another when the Senators trade Goose Goslin to the Browns for Heine Manouche. Each Hall of Fame outfielder won his titles in the American League, with Manouche hitting .387 for the Tigers in 1926, and Goslin leading the circuit 2 years later with a .378 batting average for Washington. And Goose Goslin, I was trying to think, isn't there a Harlem Globetrotter named Geese Osby?
Yes, you are right, sir.
So
he was like the gimmick on the Globetrotters. I don't know if it is now, because I haven't seen it in a long time, but they'd have one guy who'd be like the Clown Prince guy, like the one who's like the main prankster. And I think it was Meadowlark Lemon, and then after him would have been Geese Osby, I think. And he looked like he was like a guy who was like 45 years old, and he's on the Globetrotters in the 80s. Like, oh my gosh, watching this guy. So he's like Cowboy Jack. He's just running the show.
Yes, yes, just running point for sure. Yes. And what would Curly Neal be considered?
I mean, I don't know what would be in the 1930s. Who'd be the speedster? He's like the Ricky Henderson of basketball. Come on.
Yeah.
No, and this is why I fell in love through this show. I fell in love with baseball, because all this history. I mean, because of this show, I'm a big fan of Heine. You know?
I'm glad he finally comes up in an actual This Day in Baseball, not just a potential answer on a trivia question.
I have had that joke written down for 4.5 months.
There you go. Finally.
Well, you've always been a little behind. So hey. But yeah, Heine Manouche, we've talked about him a lot in our trivia, but yes, we can say that that he played for the Browns and he played for the Senators and he won a batting title. So
yeah. I think Heine on the Browns was probably my favorite. I gotta say, he had a great career, but Heine on the Browns was something to behold. It was spectacular. It was.
That sounds like a great craft beer selection, like a brown ale.
No.
Heine on the Brown. Good stuff. Well, Kevin, you're up next.
All right, we're going to June 14th, 1963. In a 10-3 win over the Reds at Crossley Field, Mets outfielder Duke Snider hits his 4th career home run off of Bob Perky. With his sweet left-hand swing, the future Hall of Famer will finish his 18 years in the major leagues with 407 round trippers. Yes, you heard me right, Mets. He came up, I think, in the late 40s or so, and he played all the way to 1962 with the Dodgers, played one season with the Mets in 63. And look at that gray hair, Cowboy Jack. How old do you think this guy is here?
Easily 32. Easily.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's something a lot of people don't know. Diehard Dodger fans would not like this. He got 7 more home runs in his career. In 1964, he finished his career with the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, boo.
Wait, we don't
to where my story is, I don't think I have this photo anymore. I knew Duke Snider from going to autograph shows and all this stuff to where we got to be friendly with each other. And I actually found an 8x10 of him in a Giants jersey, and I had him sign it. He put on it, and he put on to Kevin, I only did it for the money, Duke Snider. And I'm like, I wish I had that autograph somewhere because that'd be fantastic to have. But he was called the Silver Fox, was his nickname, because he was going gray by the time he was like 25, 26 years old.
Sure. And he was foxy, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, look at that guy. Yeah.
The slab of man candy.
That's
the
right.
Steve Martin of baseball. and you were asking before about there's a huge like Dodger Giants rivalry. So going back to Brooklyn and New York. So it's been a storied and this guy at this point, I mean, the fact that he has a baseball uniform on is the only thing that really makes him look like a baseball player.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like an accountant.
Yeah,
a lawyer.
No, he's getting really upset because somebody didn't carry the 2. Yeah.
Yep. His rookie year was actually 47, so the same year as Jackie Robinson came up. So how about that?
Wow.
So he's like 15 years in, and he was born in 1926. So do the math. 36 years old. There you go.
Wow.
September of 26.
I think I said 32, dude. I was pretty close.
36. Yeah. There you go.
So if it comes down to the Giants or the Dodgers, are you guys on Team Dodgers?
That's a good question. I mean, there should be. I wrote a blog about it when I first started in 2016. When I started just blogging for this, and it was called My Dodger Dilemma. And I have so much like Dodger history, and I literally is the closest ballpark to where I live. So you think that there would even living in Arizona that was our team because we didn't have a team, and it was our market team for the National League. So that's how I got to hear Vin Scully. So we watch it, on every weekend. So that was our market team. I should have so much more affinity for the Dodgers. And I just don't. I'm not sure why it is, and I think it's just because my grandparents were from St. Louis, so I had more of an affinity for that. But yeah, but everything I see about the Giants, I don't know. I just have much more of a connection with the Giants, I think, and I mean I don't really have any rhyme or reason to it. Like I love that stadium up there. I love. More of the history of the Giants as well. Kevin, what about you?
That's where I'll turn on you, because for some reason, like growing up, learning about old baseball, like I really loved Duke Snider, just getting to learn about him. Because in New York in the 50s, it was you had the Giants and you had the Yankees and the Dodgers all in New York City. And Willie, Mickey, and the Duke, they're like the three most popular players, arguably, in baseball. And Brooklyn just seemed to be such a more like blue collar, like tough kind of team. And they were called the Bums. And I was just kind of interested in learning about them, where I'm like, man, I really like the Brooklyn Dodgers. But then, you know, I lived in Anaheim, was an Angels fan my whole life as a kid. And people are like, not a Dodgers fan. I'm like, oh gosh, no. So like history wise, I'll be like, hey, Brooklyn Dodgers. I like the story. There's some good stories and good characters in there. And then, but nowadays I'm like, just because of how awesome I haven't been to what's it called now? Oracle Park has changed names every 5 years.
Now,
The Giants Stadium, I'm like, gosh, it's probably maybe my second favorite stadium in baseball was Petco. So nowadays, probably Giants, and that mostly might be because of the stadium.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I had to weigh in on the Giants versus Dodgers, Ian, close personal friend of the show, If Sports Cards, is a Giants fan. And out of the 7 times I've been stabbed in my life, 2 of the people that stabbed me were wearing Dodgers jerseys. So
what?
I'm going with Giants.
Well, hopefully a close friend of the show doesn't see this. Who are you going to be hanging out with in a month or two? And ironically enough, San Francisco.
There you go. Amazing. All right, Jack, you are up.
June 15th, 1949, shortly after 1 a.m., Ruth Ann Steinhagen shoots Eddie Waitkus in the chest with a rifle, close range, at Chicago's Edgewater Beach Hotel after luring him to her room with an urgent note delivered by a bellhop. The obsessed fan, who had become infatuated with the first baseman when he played in Chicago, apparently became agitated because the Cubbies traded the all-star infielder to the Phillies. Fun fact, gentlemen. When Ruth Ann was questioned why she shot Eddie, she replied, "I just wanted to do something exciting with my life." She didn't serve any time in prison. Instead, she was confined to a mental institution for 3 years and died in 2012.
Whoa.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yes, sir. She was an obsessed stalker fan. It's kind of the one of the first little examples of the stalker fan, and she had a shrine to the natural Eddie Waitkus, and when he was getting traded, pulled him into a hotel room. Eddie Waitkus at 1 a.m. Why are you going to go see a girl in a hotel room, brother? Come on now, come on, brother. But he paid for that one. He was shot in the lung with a .22 caliber gun, and it barely missed his heart. He almost died a few times on the operating table. And what was it, in 1955? So 6 years after this, he was part of the they're called the Whiz Kids. And
that's 55. I thought that might be the next year, wasn't it?
I think
Kids?
I think you might want to do that. # do the research. It was 1955, sir.
All right, for the Phillies.
So he went on to be part of the Whiz Kids with the Phillies, and they had a great season. And thank goodness he survived, man, because he had a good career.
Yeah, and if anybody is following us on Instagram at Beer Baseball, if you scroll through the reels, we actually did a live Hazy History talking more in detail on this situation.
We did. If you want to hear more about poor Ruth Ann Steinhagen, go back in our Instagram.
It's not poor Eddie Waitkus, though. Apparently.
Yeah, it's not an uplifting story, this poor lady's life. After she got out of the mental institution, her family kind of just disappeared and blended in. And after her death, people said that they didn't even see her work. I mean, she was just always confined to the home. So it was a sad story, very sad story.
Yeah, and there was a lot of this that was taken for the movie The Natural.
That's right,
Robert Redford. So a lot of elements of this story were taken.
Yeah, because I think the original book would have came out in the 50s. because the Nashville movie is based off a book, and I think that came out in the 50s. So I'm sure this is definitely an anecdote that he used to make his own version of for the book.
No, and this story always, it always pulls at my heartstrings because much like Eddie Waitkus, I know what it's like to be stalked by female fans. I mean, it's a tough life, and luckily he survived, brother. Good job, Eddie.
So you've been stabbed by Dodger fans. You've been shot at by women.
Women and men and police. And family members. I mean, it was an interesting childhood. It's interesting. Yeah, my what is it? Dark Side of the Ring is going to be pretty interesting.
You just have a target on you. It appears.
Yes.
So,
they keep shooting, and old Jackie keeps dodging bullets. Baby, let's do it.
That'll keep you young. Nicely done. Nicely done. June 16th, 1941, Johnny Vandermeer, best known for throwing consecutive no-hitters, becomes the first pitcher to start a game by throwing 4 straight base-on balls before retiring a single batter. The Red starter will not make it out of the inning of the Crosley Field contest, an eventual 6-0 loss to New York. And it's kind of amazing, and we need to put this over more. 2 consecutive no-hitters, and
that's not going to happen like ever again.
No.
Most likely. I can't expect any pitcher to be able to pitch back-to-back 9-inning games. You know what I mean? Nowadays.
Yeah, and even doing this, like walking 4 straight batters, may not even happen as well. Because, well, I guess it could, but I don't think it'll happen in general because what you wouldn't throw 16 pitches to get that done. I don't think, because now you can like walk people, like you can go just go to first base. So it's more like strategy.
And so think about that. He gave up a run in the first 4 batters. He really walked the bases loaded and walked in the first run.
Yes, and it's actually there's not a lot of damage there, but he was the first person that ever did that in 1941. But I really wanted to put over that he 2 consecutive no hitters, and I think I talked about this last time we talked about him. I think I remember watching Mark Burley after he threw his no hitter or perfect game.
He threw a perfect game, I think. Yeah.
And like the game after that, I think he went like really deep into the game without giving up a hit as well.
Right.
And I'm like, this guy's going to throw a perfect game and a no hitter back to back. I mean, like that's your, that's you're writing your ticket to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
like,
and
sure.
Vandermeer did get some traction for potentially getting the Hall of Fame. He never did because I don't know his total life stats, career stats off the top of my head, but. If you have a game like this and then you have games like no hitters, it sounds like you're not. I don't know how consistent he really was. I'll have to actually do the research real quick.
Right. Definitely. All right, Kevin, you are up.
All right, we're going to June 17th, 1978. The crowd at Yankee Stadium initiates a new baseball tradition when they begin to rhythmically clap each time there are 2 strikes on the batter. Inspired by Ron Guidry's 18 strikeout performance, establishing a new American League mark for left-handers. 18 out of 27 outs. Woo! That's impressive. His performance in the 4-0 victory over the Angels. I don't want to say that far too loud. The Angels will lead the team's television announcer, Phil Rizzuto, to coin a new nickname referring to the Lafayette native as Louisiana Lightning. Love that nickname. And he also went on to win the American League Cy Young Award that year as well. Heck of a ball player.
Gentlemen, do either of you know the rhythmic clap that they're referring to?
I'm going to assume it's the slow clap.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't get a chance. I was curious. I'm like what? I was like, I get, yeah.
Louisiana Lightning Ron Guidry drives a Trans Am for sure. And
he definitely did 1978. I don't think he's around. I don't think he's with us anymore.
That guy has at least 3 pet snakes,
Yep.
and knew how much Sudafed he could legally buy.
Yeah.
Louisiana Lightning was trouble. Look at that.
And hey, his other nickname, Gator.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, and it's one of those B movies. There's a B movie called Gator. There's a whole bunch. Of
Yeah.
Yes, he's definitely got that look.
Yes.
I also think, and you might have to look this up, but I believe that he's like one of the few major league players that played for as long as he did that never got an at bat.
Huh.
Because he played 14 years with the Yankees. I think he played just with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pitched for 14 years with the Yankees.
Yeah,
so
and I don't think he ever had an at bat.
No. Maybe you know what? He would have in the World Series.
Maybe postseason.
Postseason he would have.
But not regular.
For sure he would have. And trying to find his lifetime stats for you. He literally played for the Yankees from 1975 through 1988. His whole time played with them. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So obviously so the designated hitter started just before that. That's a pretty good stretch to go without having to get it back, except for he had a few shots in World Series, 76, 77, 78, 81.
Yeah,
There's 4 World Series off the top of my head that the Yankees would have been back then. Because he was there with Herman Munson and the straw that stirs the drink, Cowboy Jack Durango. That is.
Yes, Ty Cobb.
You have the buzzer, please. Friend of the show, Reggie Jackson, please.
Oh, yeah, sure. That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, Jack, you actually are up next, and you have a little bit of Reggie, so let's do it.
June 18th, 1973, the A's stage a Father's Day Mustache Day promotion. They were giving fans with hair above their upper lip free admission into the ballpark. Charlie Finley, the owner of the A's, offers his players a $300 bonus for growing facial hair for the event. And every player does it except for Vida Blue, who is still a little bit bitter about his recent contract negotiations with Charlie Finley.
Yeah, crazy. We
eventually need to do a deep dive on the Charlie Finley Vida Blue thing. I mean,
you can just do you can do an hour on Charlie Finley alone. He's such a crazy character in baseball. So Michael Mondragon, I have a question. How many of these guys can you name?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Okay.
I got almost all of them. So let's start with the upper left. Even Cowboy Jack knows who the man is on the upper left.
Hold on. Let me go first.
Yes.
Go for it.
In the middle, Charlie Finley. Boom.
Yeah. Well done.
Slam dunk, boys.
All right. So Cowboy Jack, you want to take a wild guess who was in the upper left? He's a friend of the show.
Upper left, Raleigh Fingers.
Hey. Now, who is below Raleigh Fingers, another friend of the show? We just talked about him like a minute ago.
Oh, Ty Cobb.
Try again. Come on.
Vida Blue. Oh, stop that. I don't like that noise. Reggie Miller.
I know it's green and yellow. It's not the Indiana Pacers.
Hold on. I know how to get the right answer. Cowboy Jack. This guy played at Arizona State University.
Oh, superstar Billy Graham.
I tried. I thought that would have worked.
That's amazing. Are you joking or not?
he's joking.
We can never tell.
You're definitely kayfabe. All right. So
Reggie Jackson. How about that? Oh,
okay. So upper. So Raleigh Fingers.
Yes.
Who is to his right?
I think that's Joe Rudy.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think that's Joe Rudy.
Okay.
I don't know who that is in the upper right hand corner. I don't know if that's Vida Blue.
I don't know if it's Vida Blue or Blue Moon Odom.
It's probably one of those two.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who's now. Who do you think that is beneath him? Is that Gene Tennis, possibly the catcher, or is?
I think that might be. Yeah. It's kind of hard to say.
All right.
So then Charlie Finley's in the middle. Reggie is right there. Okay.
The bottom left looks so familiar, and I can't place it. So do you know who that
we talked
is?
about him. He's another Arizona State alum.
Ooh.
We
John
talked about
Crutch.
Oh, so that's Sal Bando?
Sal Bando.
Oh, that's Sal Bando. Okay. Because the other two I know. I know the last two.
So let me see if I can get this right. Is that Catfish Hunter?
That is Catfish Hunter. Yes, sir.
Okay. And I know the guy in the lower right.
The man who didn't get the $300 bonus.
No.
Is there a stash there?
There's no right. He did not get one. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. So he didn't get one, but do you know who it is?
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Bert Campaneris.
That's right. Who actually played all 9 positions in one game. I think we might have talked about that at one point on the show. That's a very fun fact about him.
Yes.
Jack, Mike, he remembers that. I was talking about that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Jack, this is the kind of talk that kept us out of the really good schools.
Yes.
And,
But it could have gotten you in Arizona State, a good college baseball school. You know?
Yes. We could have been a contender, but instead, like 1973, we're like, oh yeah, those swinging A's.
So yeah, no, I'm looking at this team lineup, and I'm just sad that I don't see what's his name, Willie Williams in there.
Willie Williams.
Willie Williams.
Willie. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drink this beer. You guys take over.
All right, let's just do it. What do we got?
I love it. That's hilarious.
Oh gosh.
All right. So let's finish this out with June 19th, 2007, on the bus ride to Shea Stadium to take on the Mets in an interleague contest. Twins color commentator and Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven says he will have his head shaved tonight if starter Johan Santana throws a complete game shutout. The left-hander from Venezuela will shave the broadcaster's head after going the distance in Minnesota's 9-0 victory over New York's National League team.
Oh my gosh. El ganador de lucha apuesta, caballera contra caballera. I was like, oh my
Cuando
gosh.
los mundos chocan.
That's right. Wow.
I thought that was pretty awesome. I totally
That's such a crazy story. Wow.
Yeah. And I think there was another one that the announcer said that I'll walk home if they score like 10 runs in the ninth or whatever. They run up.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. The guy, it was like a couple 100-mile walk home, and I think he said he'd do it. And I think he actually did do it.
I think he did do it. I think there might have been like a charity thing involved in it. So it's like, but anyway,
man, is this an excuse to talk about both these guys? I mean, Johan Santana, in retrospect, he's kind of underrated,
Yeah, and he was, I was gonna say that, and he was. What else was he? He threw the no-hitter for the Mets, correct?
I believe he eventually did. Yes.
Yeah, and if it's the same guy, I think I still say that was a one-hitter. Carlos Beltran on the Cardinals at the time hit the ball over third base. So I never let that go, but yeah. I think he was the first pitcher to throw a no-hitter for the Mets.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe we had a hair versus hair match.
I know. I was like, whoa.
So
wait, if Johan didn't, was he going to get his head shaved?
Yeah. What did he put on the line? Yeah, for real.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously.
Did he put up the Miss Elizabeth?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Bruniverse, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, Kevin will shave my hair live on the air.
I was getting ready to say Kevin will shave his head. I'm like,
no. But in 3 months' time, if we're not at 1,000 subscribers, I'm shaving Kevin.
No.
It's legal. You agreed to it. It's in the contract.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? The contract? What contract?
Moving on.
Michael Mondragon didn't send me a contract. How many beers have you had, Cowboy Jack?
2.
That's enough. That's enough out of you. But back to Bert Blyleven, if people aren't aware of how great he was like one of the top pitchers for a good 15 or so years. he might still be in the top 10 for all-time strikeouts. He was a guy who played in like smaller markets, definitely known for Minnesota. I think he played at the Angels as well.
Cleveland.
Bunch of teams, but he's one of those guys who didn't get in the Hall of Fame for quite a while. And you look at his numbers, you're going, how's this guy not in the Hall of Fame? But he's also, I believe, from the Netherlands, originally, but he's a local guy who lives in my area, to where he actually was out in Europe during the World Baseball Classic to support the Netherlands team. So
yes, he was.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he started with the Minnesota Twins the year I was born, 1970.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that he was already California Angels, Minnesota Twins, Pittsburgh Pirates. I totally forgot he was on the Pirates as well. Yeah. So he's definitely been around, and I believe he's still commentating. But yeah, it's some great pictures, some great times here. Definitely. All right, so let's do some baseball trivia here. Let's test your knowledge of baseball history.
This is where I clean up.
Yes, you're definitely going to make up for and I think that you not Willie Williams, but Willie Wilson.
Oh yeah, Willie Wilson. Sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he's on the board this time. So
that'll be something.
All right. So here is question number 1. This 300 game winner had the same number of hits as a batter as he did wins as a pitcher.
Whoa.
Who is he?
Whoa.
Yes. Here are your choices. Is it Walter Johnson? Is it Grover Cleveland Alexander? Is it Cy Young, Greg Maddux, Warren Spahn, or Christy Mathewson?
Oh, wow. This is like the kind of question I love here. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, this is tough. This is
and I'm thinking like, all right, you have no DH to worry about here because Greg Maddux was on the Braves, and the Dodgers, as I forgot about, and a Cubby. So National League his whole career. All the other guys would have definitely spent their whole career batting. Woo.
Yeah. I was thinking it was a tough question because I couldn't spell from memory any of these gentlemen's names. So.
You can't spell Cy Young?
Huh?
You can't spell Cy Young.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
He was going to write scythe. You can probably spell scythe from your equipment, farming equipment experience, right?
Scythe.
Yes.
Is spelled Sythe.
So close. You're so close.
Swing and a miss.
So
now this is too easy. I know the answer.
All right, go ahead, Jack.
Yeah. I'm going number 6.
All right.
Christy
So
Mathewson.
This 300 game winner had the same number of hits as a batter as he did as a pitcher. Who is he? You're saying 6, Christy Mathewson.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin.
All right. I'm going to go with a man who's a local native to my area. The Big Train, I think was his name. Walter Johnson.
All right.
Oof.
Okay. So your answer is.
Oh.
It is.
No.
All right.
This game is rigged.
Dirty pool.
It's totally.
So Warren Spahn had 363 victories, 363 base hits in his 21-year career. Are you ready for this? This is you think that stat is nuts. Wait till you hear this.
Yeah.
So it was split proportionally among 3 teams he played for. The Braves, 356 wins, 356 hits. The Mets, 4-4. The Giants, 3-3.
No way.
Oh my gosh.
Get this. So he also matched his wins in postseason appearances 4-4.
Oh my God.
You're kidding me.
Isn't that crazy?
That is what? No, I don't believe that. I mean, I believe it because I trust you, but
You know what that is? That's wild stuff.
That is wild, wacky stuff.
I don't know how he was able to see the ball coming around that nose of his. I mean,
Well,
Jimmy Durante called. He wants his nose back, Warren Spahn. Boom, timely reference.
There you go. Wow, that's timely for me. So thank you. I appreciate that. That's back when I was like 363 years old. All right. This is a guy we've definitely talked about a lot.
Wherever you are.
Yes.
That's why we have a great female fan base, because they love our timely 40s references.
Right. Yeah. No, dude. Chicks dig Jimmy Durante. That's all I'm saying. In the year of our Lord and Savior Taro 2023, chicks dig Jimmy Durante. Hot cha 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 cha.
What's not to like, right? Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So question number 2. This Hall of Fame third baseman hit into 4 triple plays and participated in 3 more as a fielder.
Oh my gosh.
Who?
What?
You to know this.
Like what?
Sure.
I have a guess.
Okay. So here are your choices. Let's see if your guess is among the board. Is it Wade Boggs? Is it Brooks Robinson? Is it Mike Schmidt? Chipper Jones? George Sisler? Or Pie Traynor?
Interesting. We have a modern player list here. All right. We have 4 guys who actually play. Oh, that's right. Well, I'm sorry. 4 players past 1950. I'm like, wait a minute. I was going to say the 2000. I'm like, no, not Brooks Robinson. Post 1950. I don't think George Sisler played it past. I think he was in the 20s and 30s. You think I know? I go to these games. Back
dude, but I mean, at your age, when you're over 5,000 years old, I can't expect you to remember everything. You know what I mean?
I tried, Charlie.
You do a good job.
Except I couldn't remember that Warren Spahn had 363 hits. Great man should have known that.
Yes.
I didn't even know Warren Spahn played baseball, so
we've talked about Warren Spahn quite a bit on the show, Cowboy Jack. Come on. Yes, we have. Yeah, we have.
He didn't create an indelible impression on you.
That nose? You couldn't remember that nose? Jeez.
It's proboscis.
Yes. Cowboy Jack Durango.
Well, so, I always say, don't do it for the Gipper, do it for the Chipper. Number 4, Chipper Jones.
All right, Kevin.
You know what? The only answer that's coming to my head is I'm looking at this list and it makes me just hungry for something. It's making me hungry for something. And I'm not talking about chicken for Wade Boggs. I'm talking about some pie. I want some chicken pot pie Traynor. Number 6.
All right. So this Hall of Fame third baseman hit into 4 triple plays, hit in 3 more as a fielder. Who is he? And the answer is it is Brooks Robinson.
Jeez, dude.
I should have. That's the only one I was thinking it could have been. I didn't think he hit in the 4, but I could see him making 3 because he was, you know, his nickname was Cowboy Jack Durango.
The old man from the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Wow, he's really close.
Dude, that was literally the guy, the character's name. In the
you were really close. I'm saying you were really close.
Yeah.
He played first base. He was known as the human vacuum cleaner.
Oh.
See how close that is?
Very close.
That's how good he was at third base. So I can see him making some triple plays, but I think he hit the 4. That's crazy.
He's hit in the most, and so 4 in 58, 64, 65, and 67. And out of there's been 733 all-time triple plays in Major League Baseball. But Brooks Robinson, he has the most double plays in a career by a third baseman. He leads the AL and the MLB in it with 618.
Is that defensively? I'm sorry. Is that defensively?
defensively.
Okay, that's why I want to make sure, because there's a big distinction there.
Yeah, because
that's why he's the vacuum cleaner.
It's actually on his plaque that he leads Major League Baseball in most double plays in career by a third baseman. And so, unfortunately, he's hit into 4 triple plays. Actually, I thought that record would be broken by one Yasiel Puig, who I remember. I think he hit into 1 that I totally remember, but I remember he maybe hit it into 2.
Well, he had to be in baseball still.
Yeah,
last time he was in Korea.
Oh, that's right. I was going to ask.
Cowboy Jack, you can give Yasiel Puig some tips for Korea.
Sure.
You definitely had some interesting experiences over there.
I absolutely did. Gentlemen, can I just for the listening audience, if somebody's tuning in on the podcast audio format.
Yes, sir.
We have a picture in front of us of looks like a young Brooks Robinson holding a bat, taking a mighty swing like he's trying to chop down a tree. But it's very jarring to me, this image, and I'll tell you why. He's not wearing batting gloves.
Oh, yeah.
So when I see a batter, I assume that they're going to be wearing all the gear. This dude is in a almost sleeveless t-shirt. He looks like maybe 20 years old, 22 years old, just like a drunk dude swinging a baseball bat in a Circle K parking lot. No gloves. No gloves. Is that weird that I like watching modern day baseball? You see guys with all the gear and the gloves. Every guy has a glove and they got to step out, Velcro it on and off. And then when I see these older pictures that you bring to the show, it's jarring to see the difference.
Yeah.
Ask him now how his hands are. I think he's still around. I think he's like in his early 80s. And I'm like, man, you ask how his hands are, they're probably hurting.
Just tore up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Batting gloves didn't come in until like the late 70s, early 80s.
Now, is the batting glove more for grip or is it more for protection?
I guess it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, both.
But I remember, you know what? It's so funny. I remember Vin Scully saying this. He blamed batting gloves and all the equipment for the delays in baseball. Oh. He said, like, there was a guy that played on the his name was Mike Hargrove. His nickname was the human rain delay. Mm-hmm. And he used to step out, adjust his batting gloves. Nomar Garciaparra was notorious for his routines with it. Vin Scully said that was one of the things responsible for delays in baseball. And I remember when like a guy like Matt Carpenter, who still plays, I think he plays for the Padres now, but he's playing for the Yankees and Cardinals. And he didn't wear batting gloves, and everybody's like amazed by it. But back then, nobody wore batting gloves or anything like that, or wrist tape or anything really.
Yeah. So I have built 30-story buildings out of pieces of metal, right? And I would wear gloves like welding or whatever. Never once did I ever have to throughout the day adjust my gloves. Like I feel like the glove adjustment is a little bit of the, hey, put the camera on me. Let's get attention on me. I think it's a move. So I agree. And up until this year now with the new rules in baseball, they're cutting down on that BS.
It's head games, Jack. It's head games. It's what Foreigner calls head games. You know what I mean? You want to
thank you.
You want to try to distract the pitcher. The pitcher's getting ready up there, and they're like, "Oh wait, hold on."
Oh, okay.
Right. Jack, you've been in professional. Jack, let me ask you a question as a former professional wrestler.
Yes, sir.
Let's say you're amped up, you're ready for a match, and the bell rings, and your opponent stalls. Let's say he hides in the corner. He steps out of the ring, walks around. That gets into your head.
Sure. Yeah, no, it drives you crazy, right?
It's the same thing. It's similar. See, since professional wrestling is a sport, much like professional baseball, I figure I could tie those two things together to give a better explanation to you and the listening audience.
Yes, I thought it was showboating. Now it's human chess, and I dig the move. I support it.
Yes,
There you
and to go with the foreigner analogy or song list here,
Yes.
one combatant is urgent, and the other one is is hot blooded. Well, urgent and hot blooded, and and the other one is playing head games.
Yep.
Well, I mixed
dig
3 songs there. That is,
Yeah.
Well
I
done.
have a sickness.
No, I get it. You know what? Now that I understand that they're trying to slow down the momentum of the pitcher, now it makes sense. I've never heard it put to me that way, so thank you for that. I always
And
thought it was
I bet you there's points where it's that, but I'm sure, you've got Nolan Ryan up there on the mound, someone like that who's just like,
Yes,
sure,
he's ready just to get like, I'm gonna strike you out, I'm gonna get you, and you're like, this mother is come on, get in there, and you might get a little riled up, and just that might just throw a pitch just a couple inches off, and you get a hit, extra pitches for a walk. You never know.
I dig it, man. Slowing down the momentum. I dig it.
Yeah, it happens in all sports.
Yeah, I've never had it explained to me that way, and it made sense. So thank you.
And pitchers like to get into rhythms too, so it's like you're breaking the rhythm as well.
Sure.
And that's an interesting thing to watch this year at the pitch clock, and the batter clock. We're both batter and pitcher here. So,
man, I love baseball.
Yes. Well, and I'm throwing this out there. There's a lot of injuries this year, and I've been hearing that the pitch clock has a lot to do with it. And Jacob deGrom going down. And not to say that he wasn't damaged goods before, but there's a lot of injuries that are happening right now, and they're kind of blaming the pace of play.
Yeah, and because it's not like they had a lot of time to adjust. They didn't.
Yes, and a similar thing happened in football where they condensed the preseason, and there was a ton of injuries like in the first few games as well.
Yeah.
So. Yes. Hey, it's professional sports. Again, when we talk about this, like, we talk about pitch counts and all this other stuff. And it's like, not there's been guys who are pitching like 150 pitches in a game, so it's like, it's all up for debate.
Well, you know what?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say, why our sport that we're involved in personally is why is so much more important, because professional wrestling is year round. All right. We never have a break. So we don't have to worry about all those things. We just keep going and chugging along, and we're all fine. Right, Jack?
There's no off season in wrestling, brother.
That's right. Till you break a neck or break a leg or tear a bicep.
Or crisping while you're family. No big deal. I mean, it happens. What are you going to do? But no, man, dude, I love baseball, and I love learning all these nuances. And I mean, something about batting gloves that would always bother me watching. Now I understand the reasoning behind it. And this is why I'm part of this show. That's good knowledge. That's good knowledge to have as a new fan. So thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that is the show we have for you this week. We're on all the socials. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Also on Spotify. Our podcast is now on Spotify, so definitely check us out. Guys, any last words before we sign off for this week?
I'll go ahead. I just want to remind people, you may have some ups and downs in your life, but if you need a little bit of humor, if you need to just get a laugh, I know it's going to sound, a little archaic, but pick up your phone. Kyle, I know. Whoa. They make phone calls. If there's one number I'm going to call the Jackie the Joke Man hotline. And Eric, I'm going to make sure I got this right now. I'm going to call it right now. How about that? Area code 516-922-WINE. See, I know people are going to be like, what is WINE? I'll actually tell you the number. 516-922-9463. Called up. Here's some good jokes you can use for your coworkers or for your friends and family. That's what I'm doing at my work. I tell them dirty Jackie jokes, and it's getting some laughs.
Hey, you're a better man for it too.
That's right.
Jack, what's up?
Everybody watching and listening, I just want to say you're welcome. They call us the Diamond Exchange, the crown jewel of craft beer and baseball. You tune into our show, you will learn about amazing craft beers, and you will learn the wonderful history of baseball. And that is a gift that we give to you free of charge. All that we ask is a like and a subscribe and a follow. So you're welcome. Now do your part.
Love it. Love it. And you get to learn about Batting Gloves, A Foreigner, the band. You get to learn about Charlie Finley.
Willie Williams.
Yes, Willie Williams.
Who was a former judo Olympian, I believe, for the United States of America.
Yeah.
That's what Willie Williams is.
I also think he's the LAPD, like when NWA, they were all it was back in the day, like in the early 90s. Who knows? You can learn about Willie Wilson, the person that we were actually talking about.
Or who Jack was trying to say, and I'm like, I don't think he was on that A's team, but close enough for rock and roll.
Yes, everything works out in the end, right? So we will see you next week with another Baseball Brew Crew podcast. Good night, everyone. Take care.